Hey, welcome to Sports and Politics with T. I am your host, Tanya, and tonight we are going to tackle some more issues as far as the political arena for tonight. But first, I want to thank everyone who commented on my last video. I actually was very happy to see different people's point of view and just looking at how people responded on certain things that I brought up. And let me just say this. There are some things I didn't agree with. There were some things that I kind of understood how people saw the way they saw, and that's fine. I want people to have their own way of thinking and all of that good stuff. My job on this channel is to show with receipts why I feel the way I do. I'm the type of person, I don't take 30-second sound bites and then try to dissect it. I try to listen to the videos that we show you for a good 5-7 minutes, because I feel like with that, you're able to dissect it. You understand how things are, and you look at the context in which things are being said. And you can't really do that in a 30-second sound bite. So that's one of the reasons why my format is the way it is, because I like to show people for themselves. I like to show the evidence of, things that I talk about. Now, let's bring up the first comment. Well, there was a few comments that I was laughing at. And there were some things that I was kind of like trying to understand. There was a few comments that said, hey, Kamala hasn't done anything for us in these last few years. In fact, she's done nothing but screw us up. She's done a horrible job at the border. She's just not capable. She's just not president material. Okay, what has she done? And so my job tonight is to show some things that she has done, some things that I actually benefited myself personally, that I know it was under the Biden and Harris administration. Let's tackle the first thing that they were accomplishing together. The first thing that I want to bring up was the student loan forgiveness. Okay. Now, people say, well, that's not a big deal. You should have paid your loans. You borrowed the money, then you should have paid it back. Well, let's say it like this. I actually paid my loans, okay? I was paying them up until a certain point, until COVID. And then COVID said, we're going to stop. But guess what? Biden and Harris came along and they enforced the act, which actually canceled my student loan debt. I looked at my credit report and I was like, I can't believe this. This is actually paid in full? Zero? I don't owe a dime? And people say, oh, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should want to pay your loans back. Like I said, I was paying my loans. Okay? This is how I look at this. Okay? Because people say, well, what about the people who's already paid off their loans? I can't help when people went to school. I can't help if people paid them off. If they paid them off, that's a good thing. I'm just saying in today's economy, because let's face it, the average worker pays more in taxes than the millionaires. Okay? When you got corporations that are not paying their fair share in taxes, but you want to tax me to death, then yes, I think we all deserve a break. Yes, I do. And what better way to break or to give us a little bit of a cut? Because after all, they get tax breaks all the time. So forgiving some debt for me, hey, I don't see any problem with it. Okay. Now, the people who paid in, I say, hey, give them some money too. I'm open to the idea. It doesn't faze me one way or another. All I'm saying is just be fair across the board. If Amazon doesn't have to pay taxes and you're taxing me 25, 30, 40, 50%. Is that right? You know what I'm saying? No, it's not right. And so we have to come to a common ground. Now, that's the first thing that they did. And I have the letter. I can show you parts of my credit report where it shows 0. In fact, I know about, well, actually my sister and 2 other people that got their loans forgiven. I mean, just wiped off, gone. I mean, it was just like, wow, just like that. So that is one thing I will always be grateful for with the Kamala Harris or the Biden-Harris administration. The second thing is she actually capped insulin and medicines for $35, at $35 for seniors, which I thought was awesome. You know, because just think about how expensive medication and stuff is. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's a money racket. Insurance companies are getting over, you know, the pharmaceutical, the doctors, everybody. They're all in it for the money. They're all in it, but they're not trying to cut down the cost on these medicines, which I feel like is not right, you know. So that's number 2 as far as what she has done during her administration. She also expanded child tax credits. And, you know, hey, people with families can understand. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people with kids. They're like, hey, we are benefiting from this huge. Now, if you're single and you're by yourself, it probably wouldn't affect you. But people with kids, I know quite a bit of people that is like, whoo, you just don't know. It's helping them in more ways than one. Okay? So that's the top 3. And there's a list of them. In fact, I got a whole outline of all the things that she's done throughout the whole presidency. So, but we don't have time all tonight. I mean, I can go on and on and on about some things that she's done, you know, suing drug companies, you know, whatever. It's you know, we got to look at it for what it is. She's trying to fight for the American people, okay? And that's just point blank and period. Now, number 2, let me tell you something about myself, okay? First of all, I'm not a Democrat. And I'm not a Republican. I am a registered independent, okay? Because everybody assumed, I guess because I'm a black woman and I voted for such and such or Kamala Harris or whatever, they just automatically put me in that box. Oh, she's woke. Oh, she must be for the Democrats. Oh, she's not an independent thinker. No. She's got to be on that other side of the tracks. Oh yeah, I get it. Listen. See, this is why people get in trouble. Okay, they assume the worst. They assume that you're this and you're that instead of asking and say, "Hey, what party do you belong to? Are you Republican?" They don't do that. They just put you in the box right off the bat. Yeah. So it is what it is. I'm used to it, you know, and it is what it is. Okay. Now, let's talk about some of the comments that people were saying. One thing I looked at when I brought up the salute with Elon, he did his Nazi salute. I was looking to see, was there anyone going to at least say, you know what, Tanya, you know, that actually didn't look good. But I was amazed at the people who just, again, turned a deaf eye and ear to it. You show them video, and see, this is where we are in America. You can show a clip, you can show the video, you can show from start to finish. I didn't show a 30-second soundbite. I showed almost 2 minutes of him speaking, and that was enough because after he did his salute, and he did it twice, by the way, people went through the roof with it. And all I'm saying is it just didn't look good. Okay? It really, really didn't look good at all. For his stature, somebody of that magnitude, to do something on stage that could be controversial, that could be taken any kind of way. But like I said, this is where we are. I tell people, believe with your eyes, okay? Believe what you see, all right? If the video shows him doing a Nazi move, believe it, all right? Now, if he didn't mean it, he would have gotten on TV, he would have gotten on camera, he would have said, listen, guys, I apologize. That is not who I am. This is not what I'm about. I haven't seen anything yet. Now, some people say he got some family members. I think his grandparents were in the Nazi situation. I don't know if that's true or not. I really haven't really investigated it, but I'm just saying, if people want to pick at me, but they don't want to call out anything that I'm seeing on stage, I'm showing you a video and I tell people denounce it. You denounce it and I'll be glad to have a great conversation with you. I'm very easygoing, by the way. I really am. I'm not ghetto. I'm not loud and obnoxious. I'm not any of the stereotypical situations that people want to put black women in. That's not me. Okay. And I try to listen. I really do try to understand how people feel and all the what people want to say and get it out of their spirit. It makes them feel better. And trust me, I know I shook the bee's nest. I did. I shook the bee's nest and the bees came and swarmed and tried to attack me. And guess what? It's okay because I was protected. I was protected because when you stand for the truth, you're going to be persecuted. You're going to be ridiculed. You're going to be talked about. That's just how it goes, no matter where you are in life. Okay. But it also shows how desensitized we are as a country, where we can actually look at a video of somebody doing something and then convince ourselves that, that's not what I saw. Or tell someone else, that's not what you saw either. He was just being animated. That's just how he is. Maybe. I don't know. I just know if Obama did that, I don't think it would be the same outcome. But, I digress. Let's just move on to bigger and better things, okay? Let's just move on to bigger and better things. Now, let's talk about Trump pardoning January 6ers. There's a lot of people outraged. There's a lot of people mad. There's a lot of people upset. There's a lot of people they just can't take it. They really can't take it, right? And I'm going to let you listen in on this sound clip from a policeman that was trying to protect Americans that day. You just listen in on what he has to say about all of this pardoning.
What's going through your mind tonight?
I just heard the news from your producers a few moments ago. The only thing that's going through my mind right now is that this is what the American people voted for. Donald Trump has been promising these pardons ever since he announced his candidacy in Waco, Texas, the scene of one of the most notorious battles between American law enforcement and the American extremist movement that resulted in the death of numerous law enforcement officers. Thanks,
Are you-
America.
This feels like a betrayal to you.
Oh, I have been betrayed by my country. Rest assured, I have been betrayed by my country, and I've been betrayed by those that supported Donald Trump. Whether you voted for him because he promised these pardons or for some other reason, you knew that this was coming, and here we are. Tonight, 6 individuals who assaulted me as I did my job on January 6th, as did hundreds of other law enforcement officers, will now walk free. 6 individuals who have threatened my life and who have made threats towards my family members, as well as countless other January 6th defendants who have threatened me because they see me as a spokesperson for law enforcement for this event. My family, my children, and myself are less safe today because of Donald Trump and his supporters.
When you hear the president of the United States, Donald Trump, talking about back the blue, or his supporters saying that they back the blue, you don't buy that?
No political party supports law enforcement. That's just a fact. Political parties support public safety, but they don't support police officers, and they don't understand the sacrifices that we make on behalf of the American people. That's been my experience as a 20-year career law enforcement officer in a major metropolitan city in this country. That being said, right now, I think that the Republican Party owns a monopoly on hypocrisy when it comes to supporting or their supposed support of law enforcement. Because tonight, the leader of the Republican Party pardoned hundreds of violent cop assaulters.
Okay, so let's stop right there. This is a policeman that was trying to protect on January 6th, and he got assaulted by these mobsters, these violent protesters. People kept saying, oh, it was a peaceful protest. See, this is a prime example of, we see video of people breaking out windows, climbing the side of the wall, going in with antlers, putting their feet up on the Oval Office desk, and storming the Capitol. Somebody, actually a lady got killed there, but it's supposed to be all a peaceful protest. And this is a guy who is trying to protect and serve. Listen to what he's saying, guys. I'm not trying to convince you that it's a cult. I'm just saying, when you're that emboldened where you can't even look past the party, where you're that emboldened where anything goes and who cares who it offends, and when democracy goes right out the window, we're in trouble, Yes. Now, let me also say this. Now, did I agree with everything that Biden and Harris did as far as the illegal immigrants and all of that stuff? No, I did not. In fact, I think that was the worst thing they did. They did not even try to protect the borders. So I understand people's outrage on that side too. Okay, I'm fair. When I see, if it don't look good to me, I'm going to say something. But what I can't allow is people to see video and then try to convince me that that's just not what it appears. Because that's where we are. We're in that illusion bubble, okay? We show it to you. You convince yourself that that's not what I saw. And then you still ride with the party no matter what. That's a dangerous situation to be in.
You were pardoned today, and we should know President Biden said it was not for committing a crime, but for stepping forward to testify about January 6th. Did you know about that in advance? What do you think about that? And are you concerned for the safety of your family?
I had no communication with the White House or anyone else, for that matter, regarding a potential pardon or presidential pardon. I mean, all I can say is that I think it's a sad commentary on where we are as a nation, that a sitting president thought it necessary to issue a preemptive pardon to a witness in a congressional investigation, because the subject of that investigation is now the president, and it promised to pursue politically motivated revenge. Again, it's just more examples of the outrageous behavior of the current president of the United States. As far as concern for my family and my family's safety, I've been concerned for myself and my family's safety ever since I testified before Congress. If you remember, I didn't even make it through my congressional testimony before I received my first threat from a member of the American public who called me and threatened my life literally as I was giving testimony. And those threats have continued to this day against both myself and members of my family. In recent months, my mother has been swatted, a 76-year-old woman who's guilty of nothing other than having a son, a police officer who responded to the Capitol on January 6th. And she's also had human feces thrown on her while she was raking leaves in her front yard. This is who we are as a nation. This is what we have become, and it has been further exacerbated by Donald Trump. As I've said many times before, we are self-centered, we are violent, and we are indifferent to the suffering of our neighbors.
Okay, now you heard it from law enforcement, since y'all are for the blue, and see, you see the hypocrisy in all of this. We're for the blue, but the blue just got attacked. But then you're going to let out the people that attacked the blue. So it's kind of like, are we really for the blue? I'm really trying to understand, guys. Y'all gonna have to help me understand how this is, because I don't understand it. Like I said, there used to be a time where people we could agree to disagree. We could see things for what it was, and if it's a duck, it's a duck. You know what I'm saying? I can't say that this duck is a bird, is a giraffe, when it's really not. Like, that's where we are. You just heard it from him. He said this is where we are. His grandmother raking leaves. People throwing feces at this woman. Like I said, I know I'm going to get a lot of feedback, and that's fine. I want people's feedback. Because I'm trying to understand this. I really am I try to look at all angles. I really do. And it's really hard for me to just say, okay, yeah, I can see why I would join MAGA. I can see that. Even though there's hardly nobody that looked like me in that party. But I can see it. I get it. Okay? Now, let's go on to a different thing. Let's talk about Vivek Ramaswamy, because everybody's talking about Vivek, and he's already been fired already. I'm like, well, dang, didn't he just become president this week? I'm sorry. I had to say that. I couldn't help it. Guys. He wants to be governor. So he abruptly left. Okay, yeah.
Is the second
Listen to this.
term just saw its first contestant voted off the island.
Who is that? Vivek Ramaswamy, that's what I'm talking about. The hedge fund manager, biotech investor, and alleged shameless grifter was kicked out of the MAGA movement this week.
Kicked?
Why? Well, simply put, he's annoying as hell. And that is not my opinion. No, that is what Republicans think about him. And I'm quoting here, Vivek has worn out his welcome, one person close to Trump told CBS News. This is all according to reports. One report in Politico said this, and I quote, Elon Musk made it known he wanted Ramaswamy out of the Department of Government Efficiency in recent days. It wasn't because of major ideological differences. It wasn't because of competing career interests. Nope. It was reportedly just because Musk and other Doge members thought that Ramaswamy was just plain irritating and insufferable. He's just really, really irritating. Frankly, I'm surprised that folks are finally waking up to this. Do they not remember the Republican primary?
You do this at every debate.
I'll tell you exactly what it is.
Don't interrupt me. I didn't interrupt you. Okay? You say this.
About how you do this.
You do this at every debate. You go out on the stump and you say something. All of us see it on video. We confront you on the debate stage. You say you didn't say it, and then you back away. And I want to
I'll
say
tell you
what?
exactly what I said, Chris.
I'm not done yet.
Well, this is
now look.
this is
and here's
nonsense.
something.
This man is spewing. This man is spewing nonsense.
Let me tell you something. This is the fourth debate. The fourth debate that you would be voted in the first 20 minutes as the most obnoxious blowhard in America. So shut up for a little while.
I'm gonna respond to that.
Wow.
The most obnoxious blowhard in America? Okay, Chris Christie, why don't you tell us how you really feel?
Now, he's been kicked out of MAGA already. I'm like, God, all that tap dancing didn't do anything for you, did it? Jeez. I mean, can we at least get to Monday? Oh, God, help me. He's already... Let's just keep listening.
Did Donald Trump and MAGA and Doge people not watch the primary debates? Did they not know that Ramaswamy was, quote, the most obnoxious blowhard in America? Now, I want you to recall, it wasn't just Chris Christie who could not stand Ramaswamy.
Honestly, every time I hear you, I feel a little bit dumber for what you say.
Every time I hear you, I feel a little dumber. All right, Nikki Haley, I'll give you that one on Vivek. Apparently, it was Ramaswamy's viral Twitter tirade around New Year's that sealed his fate. Remember, we covered it here on this channel, on the Don Lemon Show. Ramaswamy went off on the quote-unquote mediocrity of the American people and American culture, arguing that folks in this country are too stupid and too lazy to work high-paying tech jobs, and so the U.S. needs to bring them in on visas instead. I took a lot of heat for calling out some of the racists inside the MAGA movement who took to social media with bigoted comments about Indian people. It was awful. Go look it up. The comments that they made. But I digress. Back to Vivek. That Twitter take from Vivek was not such a brilliant move on his part. If there's anything that MAGA loves to hear, it's that Americans are so dumb that we need to replace them with immigrants. That was sarcasm. They don't like hearing that. As the kids say, masterful gambit, sir. Genius political strategy. I'm glad to see that you're putting your Harvard degree to good use, Vivek. But let's be honest. This development was inevitable. Ramaswamy was never going to be a permanent member of the MAGA movement. Why is that? Well, just watch this interview. It's between Ramaswamy and ultra-conservative commentator Ann Coulter. Also keep in mind,
God.
This was on his own podcast as he was interviewing her. This is the first thing out of her mouth.
This is on
So,
his
Ann,
show.
thanks for coming on, and I'm looking forward to our conversation today.
Me too. Thanks for having me. That was a fantastic opening monologue. I too am a fan of yours. So I'm going to make a point of disagreeing with you so that it will be fun. You are so bright and articulate, and I guess I can call you articulate since you're not an American black. Can't say that about them. It's derogatory. And that was a great opening.
Wow.
segment. Lots
Wait a
of
minute.
things to talk.
Did she say, I can call you articulate because you're not American and black? Do you see? Can you hear? Did you hear what she said? In fact, I want to hear that again.
Yes, I can call you articulate since you're not an American black. Can't say that about them. That's derogatory. And that was a
But see, this is what I'm talking about when I say listen to what you hear and listen to and watch what you see. Okay, people are blatant. They're saying it out. This is what I'm gonna tell you. I don't have a problem with people speaking their minds. I really don't, because I'm gonna speak my mind too. But you gotta be ready when it's gonna come back to you, because trust me, most time people can dish it out, but they can't take it. Okay, and that's where it's going to end up. People are going to start retaliating, and it's not going to be nice. Okay, I just already see the writing on the wall on this. But anyway,
a great opening segment. Lots of things to talk about there. Oh, and I agreed with many things you said during, in fact, probably more than most other candidates when you were running for president. But I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian. We'll get back to that.
I would not
Wow.
have voted for you because you're an Indian. That's what Ann Coulter said to Ramaswamy.
well, at least she was honest, right? That's what they're saying. You know, we let the chips fall. Okay, I say what I want. I don't like you, and you know what? She has the right to feel how she wants to feel. But you know, a lot of people feel like her. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't faze me none. I'm just saying, but this is where we are as a nation. Okay, this is exactly what I'm talking about. She got on his platform. He's interviewing her as a guest, and you just insulted the host. Like, I probably would have kicked her off the show. But anyway, I know I definitely would have kicked her off the show. That would have been the shortest interview that anybody has ever seen in their entire life. It would have been just, yeah, cut. All right, so next, I'm just going to go with one more thing for tonight. And then, you can leave your comments in the section and just let me know how you feel. The next thing and the final thing for tonight we're going to talk about is Trump. Trump, he did his executive orders, and we're going to get into this DEI situation and what DEI really represents. And, people got this all screwed up. It's almost like, oh, she's a DEI hire, so that means she's not qualified, right? Okay, yeah. She can't be DEI and qualified. No. She has to be DEI, because if she was qualified, she wouldn't need DEI, right? Oh, okay. So I get it. So let me ask you this, and let's take a poll for tonight. Everybody who's applied for a job, I just want you to be asking yourself this question. Did you ever ask yourself, am I a DEI when I go into a business or wherever you're trying to apply for a job? No. When you go in to apply for a job, you're going in to apply for a job. Okay, at least for me. Now, I can only speak for me. When I go, I'm not thinking about if I'm the only black person there or if I'm the only woman there. Or I'm going in because I need a job. Okay, and I have the credentials to do the job. All right, now, this whole idea that, oh, she's DEI, that means she's less than, or she doesn't have the credentials. Where did that come from? Okay, DEI just simply means we're opening up the pool and we're holding the company, not the person that's applying. We're holding the company responsible for making sure that we're looking at all applicants, not just a select group. Because trust me, if a company has to do DEI, that means they've had a history of not hiring minorities. I mean, that's just simple. They've seen through time that, okay, why aren't you hiring? You know, you can't tell me you can't find a black engineer. So of all the graduates in the United States, everybody's white, or everybody's black, or everybody's Chinese. No, I don't look at it. If it's all black, that's wrong too. If it's all white, that's wrong too. If it's all Chinese, that's wrong too. It should be the most qualified. But we can't just not look at the pool of people. Okay, that's all I'm saying. You know, the DEI situation, I don't know where all these people got this from, but whatever. Now, let's talk about his executive orders, and then we're going to close it out for tonight. Okay. People are outraged, and you know, they're just like, what is he doing? A lot of federal workers are pissed. A lot of federal workers are losing their jobs right about now. Look, we haven't seen anything yet. Okay, I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. You know, he's getting rid of all these jobs. He's actually attacking the Department of Education. I think that was another one, people losing. And I'm just like, okay, you want to build the economy, but then you're just taking away jobs? Like, what? I'm just trying to understand. Y'all got to help me understand. Please. I'm not hard to get along. I'm just trying to connect the dots. I really am. Just watch this. I want you to just watch this video for just a second. Okay? Just watch this.
Hold on, before you pay for yet another app to manage your team, let me introduce you to Connect Team, the one platform that...
All federal DEI workers be put on paid leave and eventually be laid off. The moves follow an executive order that President Trump signed on his first day, ordering a sweeping dismantling of the federal government's diversity and inclusion programs. Trump has called the programs discrimination and insisted on restoring strictly merit-based hiring. Joining us now, Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes. Okay, so obviously, some sweeping moves. If we know one thing about President Trump, he is true to his word. But what does this mean for those workers who are on paid leave now and set to lose their jobs?
If this is a step into making America great again, those folks that are American citizens today are going to find out that they're going on paid leave, ultimately losing their job. If you're a contractor contracting with the federal government that offered a diversity and inclusion program, it says it in the order. Guess what? Your contract is cut. Now you no longer have a job. Your staff no longer have a job. So this is going to be thousands of people that work for the government, that are Americans, that are going to be unemployed. So when we talk about cutting $500 billion from the budget, and people are trying to figure out, well, how are they going to do this? Where's it going to be? Well, this is one place. Let's just go ahead and get rid of this diversity stuff because we don't need it. It doesn't make sense, and we don't need it because it's discriminatory, it's exclusion, it's not inclusion. We don't want this, and we don't need it, and let's go ahead and chop it on the second day in office. But you got to, if you don't remember history and don't recognize what got us here, then it's easy to get rid of things like this. Look back to Lyndon Johnson. He signed the executive order in 1965. Why? Because we had a number of civil rights issues that were happening in the country. There was a push to understand that we needed to have a diverse work base that reflected what our country and our community looked like. And so he pushed forward these efforts, and Trump today is signing away, I should say yesterday, signing away all of those years, 1965 to today, signing away those years just in the swipe of a pen.
So Khalif, if I'm one of those workers, my first call is to probably call up like somebody like Khalif, right? And say, okay, what can I do now because my job's now being taken away from me? What legal action do I have? Is there any?
There will be a number of lawsuits. I mean, what I can tell you that comes out of the Trump administration, what comes out of the Trump process is a payday for lawyers. I mean, looking at his legal process, with its own cases, looking at the legal processes that will unfold with the mounting litigation that will come from this. This will be like the 50s and the 60s and the 70s all over again. There will be a number of challenges to the Supreme Court to say, is this something that can legally be removed in the manner in which it is? And I think the answer is going to be no. But the writing is on the wall. States have been attempting to dismantle diversity and inclusion for a number of years. North Carolina is no exception. The UNC system got rid of all diversity and inclusion programs quickly last year. So on the federal level, this was something that was going to come.
Real quick, I do want to ask you about this. One of the things that Trump has said is that any federal employees that have any suspicion that a program that was DEI, maybe changed their name and is still DEI, just kind of working in the shadows, he's saying you need to come to our office and snitch.
Well, because now we've criminalized even the process of something that we think is supposed to be okay. Diversity now is this criminal, this dark. They were campaigning, calling it die, right? Not diversity, equity, and inclusion, but death. They wanted this program to die. And one way that you can make it die is make people hate it. And so if I can incentivize you to tell on it something that is good and now make it bad, now it's made it a bad thing. 2 points that I'll make quickly before I get out of here. The first thing is I don't like the way that he's diminishing the hard work, the effort, the aptitude, the determination of folks. And it kind of it's a dog whistle of saying these folks didn't deserve to be there. These women, these people of color, they got these jobs by not working hard for it. And because of that, we're getting rid of it. He's not saying that, but that's what he's saying. And that's problematic to the folks that are doing that job already. And that is something that is going to be a problem for years to come.
That's not just what he's saying, but it's how the message is perceived. Again, Chief Legal Analyst Conley Frodes here. Don't go too far, my friend. We're going to have you back in just a bit.
All right, so just want you to kind of get a glimpse of him already slashing all these minority type jobs. And, you know, I wonder why he's so focused on diversity. Like, you know, people say he's not racist, Tanya. I promise you, he's not racist. Yes, he's eliminating diversity things. And yes, you know, Elon did the swastika salute. And yes, Ann Coulter said that she wouldn't hire Vivek Ramaswamy because he was Indian. And I know you heard all of that, and I get it. I can understand why you feel like there's some racism there. But at the end of the day, no one can convince me otherwise, okay? And I understand people want to run the MAGA train and they want to join the MAGA train. And yes, like I said on the last video, if you want to support him, be my guest, okay? He has 4 years and that's it, all right? Those 4 years are going to go just like that. And once it's up, then what? So anyway, but let's not even talk about that. I just want to thank everybody, like I said, all the comments, everybody who's reached out to my channel. If you want to comment on this one, leave the comments in. I like the comments. I love it. Even if it's controversial, just leave it. As long as it's respectable, you can leave the comment. Okay, guys? Anyway, well, it's been a great show for tonight. Join me on Monday night because we're going to dig even deeper into some more political arena type topics. And if there's some things you want to talk about, or if there's some things that's just in your mind and you really want to have a good discussion about it, please hit me up in the comment section and I'll be glad to bring it up for you. Okay? All right. Well, everybody have a great night. I will see you on Monday night. And if you enjoyed this content, please hit like, share, and subscribe to further broadcast this channel to get even more and more people involved, okay? Hit like, share, and subscribe. And also you can hit the notification bell so that you'll always know when I'm coming on, when I'm going live. All right, guys? All right, well, everybody have a great rest of the week, and I will talk to you on Monday at 8 o'clock. Thank you, and have a great night. Bye-bye.